Did Professor Michael Bailey come in? Paging Professor Michael Bailey. Alrighty then, moving on to the next contestant. Next we're going to have words of expressions by Precious from Precious Davis. I can't see that. Precious Davis from the Center of Halsted.
Good afternoon. This is sort of uncanny. This is happening in my house. This is where LGBT youth roam every day. And so, this is very special to me that Taj's spirit will linger here. There are many women that I aspire to be. Taj was one of them. Mimi is one of them. Maya is one of them. Ginger is one of them. Victoria is one of them. Sherry is one of them. My heart is so heavy. We have lost an icon, a mentor, and a queen for the ages. Miss Continental Plus 2007, Miss Gay USA at Large 2008. Taj was a titan in the pageant world, a public advocate for transgender equality, and a woman of God. Her talents were unmatched. She was the definition of excellence, poise, grace, and professionalism. Her candor split the world open in a time when vulnerability and honest, when we need it most. Her spirit larger than life and a soul that has touched the masses. Her flame still continues to burn bright. I was supposed to go see Taj at the hospital. I had made plans to, but I kept saying to myself, I'm so busy. I have this going on, I have that speaking engagement, I don't have time to go to Evanston, and hospitals scare me to no end. I kept saying to myself, I'll see her when she gets out. I was going through something, and I was upset about something, and I was telling Taj about it on Facebook. She sent DiDa back with me with the message, you have a salary, pay those bitches no mind. I now have an eternal reminder to make time for those that I love. My memories of Taj are endless. Coming to Chicago as a young queen, I was too naive for my own good. I had talent, but I needed polishing. Taj quickly would give me a laundry list of the things that I would need to do to become a professional queen. The occasional makeup tip, the inspirational conversations, and the many requests to zip her up in her gowns. When that request came, you knew she was someone you trusted. In Boys Town, High Drag Review has been the longest running drag show in the neighborhood. When you got booked in a High Drag Review as a young queen with Lady Taj Mahal, Kelly Lauren, and Aurora Sexton, you felt honored and grateful for the opportunity because you were working with continental queens, the best of the best. Through my bookings in that show, I learned the ins and the outs of the entertainment business, and I'm grateful she knew how much those experiences meant to me, because I would tell her every chance I could. I will never forget the dinners with her at Stephen Moore's and how nervous I was sitting next to her as a young queen, hearing her speak wisdom and truth far beyond my years. I will never forget being in the trailer every year at Chicago Pride with her laughing, fanning herself, and her running the show with such excellence. I always felt such pressure because the moment she heard Whitney Houston in the speakers, she would come out of the trailer just to make sure I was doing her justice. That look DiDa talked about earlier. I would always watch Taj perform and I would marvel at her majesty, her graveness, and I believed every word she said. She was a true performer, and once again, she was a woman of God. I remember being in the show one night when Judas came out by Lady Gaga and Aurora was performing it upstairs. Meanwhile, myself, Taj, and DiDa Ritz were in the dressing room. Taj started hearing the lyrics and she started screaming. She could not believe an artist had made a song about Judas. I was in the corner laughing so hard I could not even breathe. Her regality was something I've always aspired to emulate on and off stage. Over the last year, she told me how many times how proud of me she was for the woman that I become and the work that I do in the community. I am blessed to have known Taj Mahal, as with countless others, I feel an extreme loss. I know that when Taj saw the light, she was fulfilled and exploded with praise, because that is who she was. She will be deeply missed. May the Queen rest in peace and her spirit be free.
Lady Gaga. Did y'all hear about me and Taj's Lady Gaga story? We met Lady Gaga at Tracy Baim's American.
Windy City Idol.
Windy City Idol when I competed. I got second runner-up. And Lady Gaga was the guest artist.
Absolutely.
And afterwards, she came backstage. She was telling Taj how great she was, and she told me, "Oh, you should sing backup for me." And everything. Me and Taj looked at each other like, "Is she crazy? You ain't going nowhere. You're not gonna be nobody singing like that." And every time we saw her on television, we called each other, "Girl, did you see Lady Gaga?" At the Grammys, and we still in Chicago. Thank you, Precious. That was beautiful. Thank you. Next, we're going to have, on behalf of not just the Continental family, but he was also a personal friend. It's hard to keep saying was. Man. Personal friend of Taj's and myself, and he's going to come and speak on behalf of the Continental family. My brother Antonio Edwards from New York City. We're not going to give our people about the family in.
Thank you very much. It's more difficult than I thought to be here to do this. What is really inspiring to me is to see so many people from the community to come out to support a very dear friend of mine, Ms. Tajma Hall. So thank you so much for you all being here, because I'm sitting here looking out at your faces and seeing how many people are here to support her life. And it really, really, truly warms my heart to know that you all felt about her the same way that I do. And I'm not going to say did, the way that I do. I'm going to start by saying I want to thank Jack and Antonio for asking me to speak. It is truly a privilege and an honor to be here to celebrate the life of my friend and my sister, the Lady Tajma Hall. I first met Taj, actually first saw Taj the year that Victoria LePage gave up US of A at large in Houston, Texas. And I was there as a dresser to my friend DiDa Pepsi. And I was like, who is this girl? Like, she came out and just with such energy and vibrant enthusiasm that she warmed the hearts of Texas. And for those of you who have not gone to Texas or competed in Texas, that's hard to do when you're not from Texas. So, seriously, Texas people love their Texas girls, and Taj warmed their hearts just with her energy. And I just remember how warm she was backstage and how she made everybody feel very comfortable. When I left Texas and moved to North Carolina, I was living in Charlotte and she was in Raleigh working at CC's. So I had a booking there, and I get there, I go backstage, and still to this day I don't know if Taj was the official show director, but it was clear to everyone there that she was running things backstage. So she made sure that everybody had their music, everybody was on time, and once again, she had a way of making everyone feel so comfortable. And she had a way of letting you know that she was in charge. But she never made anybody feel uncomfortable by that fact, and that was just amazing to me to watch, and I just sat in awe of that. She had the ability of meeting someone for the first time and making them feel like they were the most important person in her life. And that's something that I hope and pray one day that I will be able to do. If I can touch a fraction of people's lives in the way that Taj has. In fact, if I can touch one person in the way that Taj has, then I have truly lived my life in a way that I can be proud of. So with that I say, thank you, Taj, for being a friend. Thank you for being an example of how we should all treat each other. And thank you for always being continental and forever the Lady Tajma Hall. Thank you.
I know that I wasn't the only person who said thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a I'm sorry, she know all this. Okay, all right. I want to give Antonio another hand because he came all the way from New York City. Community in Chicago, but we do have people from out of town who came, who sent their acknowledgments, who sent condolences and such. And one such person is going to speak later. But right now, we're going to hear from someone who worked very, very closely with Taj for quite a while and did her wonderful music and was always there with the lights flashing and doing those funny sounds on the microphone and stuff like that. So I want you all to give our own wonderful DJ, Laura.
I met Taj at Hydrate, and we started working together for the Hydrate Review. And we put in a lot of performance hours together, a lot of pre-performance hours together. Some of those contests that we did, they weren't just off the cuff. We planned them, Brad, Joe, and myself, and Taj. You know, we're going to do a movie contest tonight. You know, pick out the music ahead of time. So that wasn't just, you know, that was a lot of time spent. I did several mixes for Taj, for her pageants, some for just her shows, and sometimes I'd get a text that says, "Hi, I'm in Iowa," and I know that meant go home because we need to put a mix together for me tonight, which was usually no big deal because she wasn't that picky. The ones that she was picky about are the pageant mixes, but that's okay, I understood, and I enjoyed working with her because I always learned something new when I worked with Taj. And when Jack asked me to speak, I was like, me? Why do you want me to talk? I can talk. Everybody knows who I am, what I did, and everything is going on. So I thought, oh, I'll do something really clever. I'll have all of Taj's songs, because they're all on my computer, all her performance, all her mixes, and I'll like get lines from each of them, and I'll stand up here and I'll just talk, you know, from the songs. I'll be really cute. And I thought, that would be cute and clever, but I'm not up here to be cute and clever. Who cares if I'm cute and clever? I thought that I would go a little bit further, and instead of doing that, I want to say two things. First is a confession to Taj, and secondly, I want to tell you a story that speaks to who Taj Mahal really is outside of performing, because I did know her outside of work. Okay, first is a confession. I just want to get this over with. When I was working with Taj at Hydrate, sometimes equipment would fail. A lot of times. CDs would skip, things wouldn't go right. This particular moment, Taj was in the middle of one of her gospel numbers, and she was doing one of these across the stage, and the music stopped. And she kind of froze for a half a second, leg in the air, and then kind of fell. And I was like, oh shit, because I am the one that pressed stop on the CD. Accident. I didn't mean to. I was really tired that day. I'm so sorry, Taj. I didn't mean to. The other person knows that is my life back. I swore to secrecy. If you tell her, I will kill you. And she immediately picked up the mic and said, I know it wasn't you, Lorby. I know that this equipment here in this place is really crappy. And I know, you know, so I never told her. Honestly, that was the only time. I promise you that was the only time. The rest of it was equipment, okay? So that's my confession. That's better. So we're done with that. Let's go on to a story about Taj that you guys might help you understand what kind of a person she is if you didn't know her outside work. As I was working with Taj for 9 years at Hydrate, I was always going to school. I went to school to get my license for acupuncture. As I was going to school, Taj's pain in her back got worse. I kept telling her, when I get my license, Taj, let me help you. Oh no, Laura, you're not sticking me with needles, no way. No. And then I brought some needles to work with. I'm like, look how thin they are. They're so easy. This can't hurt. Look. And I stuck myself with the needle going out inside, but not really out loud. So I was like, come on, you got to let me try. I think this stuff really works. No, Lord, no, I'm not going to. So finally, I talked her into it because the pain had gotten really bad. And she said, I said, well, come on out to my house. I have an office in my house. I have a table. Take the train out. I live in the suburbs. It's real easy. She's like, well, what train stop? And I'm like, well, Cumberland. And she's like, well, is it getting, are you driving a car? I'm like, yes. Well, what kind of car is it? You know what kind of car it is. So I'll be there. So just to mess with her, I made a sign. So I was the only car there waiting for her when she got off the train. But I saw the sign and I held the sign like this. I then put the sign in the window of my car, and there it sat. And Taj came for months to my house, once a week, to get acupuncture treatment because it indeed did help her. The first time she came, she was laid on my table and she says, well, are you going to stick me or can you just do the acupressure part? And I said, well, I'll just do the pressure part. So I stuck the needles in anyway. So after she's laying there for 10 minutes, she's like, are you done? I think I can take it, put the needles in. I said, Taj, the needles have been in for 10 minutes. And she said, oh, well, why did you lie to me? And I was like, well, because I didn't think they were going to hurt. And after I put in two, you didn't say anything. So she'd get up and she felt better. And then she would call me the next day and say, it's a lot better the next day. She felt a lot better. And it would last about a week, and then she would come back, and this was still in the corner of my car, because I'm lazy and I didn't clean my car. So that just sat in my car. So then, she kept coming for a long time. She met each one of my children. I fostered dogs. She met each one of my dogs and renamed them. Chucky 1, Chucky 2, Spawn of Chucky 1, Spawn of Chucky 2, Spawn of Chucky 3. But each one got a name. And, you know, we became close. We talked. I miss her. So one day, I went to pick her up this train. This was not in the car. I wasn't paying attention. So I was sitting there waiting, and it was cold. And Taj gets off the train and walks by my car. And keeps walking. It's cold outside. What is she doing? I'm honking. I'm like, Taj, can you not see me? Taj. So then she walks by again and walks back like she's going to go back into the little house and she's not going to get in my car. I'm like, oh, this bitch. So I get out of my car and I get over there. I'm like, hey, it's really cold outside, Taj. When you get in the car, she goes, oh, I didn't see my sign. Here's my sign. So the sign has been in my glove box in my car. I took it out today and here's the sign, but I don't want her to not have her sign. Those are some stories I thought I'd let you guys know about, just because they speak to how she is, and she joked around just as much as you joked with her. So thanks for having me up today.